736 of What You Get Up To Now, documenting the journey primarily as I transitioned from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And today we're talking about it's the same old story. It's the same old story. And I love this idiom and expression. I don't know that I say it so much. I'm sure I've said it in the past, but I don't use it very often. I use other ways of saying it. But when I notice that I'm repeating a story or somebody's saying a story over and over again, and sometimes we repeat our stories on purpose, right? When we want to share an epiphany or help someone else to have a realization or an epiphany or an aha moment, we might share a story of when we discovered something, when we learned something. And those stories we might tell over and over again, especially when we get one that people can really relate to. And then there's other stories that we just tell ourselves over and over and over again. And that's the kind I'm thinking about when I picked this idiom and this solution, or this idiom for supersize your business, female entrepreneurs. And we talked about capturing lessons learned and making sure we don't make the same mistakes, making sure that we document things so that people have a foundation or a springboard off which to learn so they don't have to make the same mistakes that we've already made in our organization. And then capturing and creating documented processes and systems so that we can repeat the things that work in our businesses. So I actually really like this idiom because one of my most dreaded terms I ever heard in corporate America was when I'd ask why, and I'd ask how we were doing something, what we were doing, and then I'd ask, well, why are we doing it that way? Not inferring that there was something wrong with it, but what's the reason that we've done it that way? And if they told me, oh, because we've tested and tweaked and tried, and this is the best solution we've found so far, goody. But if it was, it's just the way we've always done it, it's just the way I am, it's just the way things are, yikes, right? That was like always a huge red flag for me, but it was also a huge opportunity flag because I knew if something hadn't been looked at, hadn't been changed, hadn't been considered, there was probably huge opportunity for growth and improvement in that particular area. And so that was actually one of my secret strategies for identifying things in an organization that could make quantum leaps in results and performance. And so I got really good at identifying things that hadn't been changed that could be changed easily and quickly to get us quick wins in different organizations. So that was our idiom for today. Our topic for today is we're working on a run through the SOAP framework. I want to make sure that we do at least 12 solid runs, 4 days plus, going through the SOAP framework. Why? Because it's the framework that I've used for decades, and I really solidified and made it, I gave it a name. I call it the SOAP framework, starting in 2020 when the pandemic hit and we were all shut down. I'm like, I got to do something. We got to figure out something because most people are going to be frozen in place, and we need to figure out how we can continue to move forward, both me and other people, right? Because if I want to move forward, I want to bring people right along with me. So I named the process I have for handling changes and challenges the SOAP framework, and I went about teaching it every other month in a 30+ day challenge, as well as applying it every day on a subconscious level automatically. Because if we install it in our subconscious, we have already got a ton of processes and habits that are part of us, right? So why not pick and choose some and install some intentionally that will serve us well and make sure that we get better results and the best possible results for us all the time, pretty much on autopilot, right? I only consciously think about and use the SOAP framework, the S, the O, the A, and the P, when I've got a big thing that I want to work on. Otherwise, it's running all the time in every little challenge, every little setback, every little problem that I face. Here's a quick example. This morning, making my videos, and Facebook, of course, isn't cooperating. Imagine that. The platform or the software that you're trying to use isn't doing what you want it to. Does that ever happen to you? If you've been online any amount of time, you've run into that. Or your technology or your internet isn't working or something, and how frustrating that is. Well, I'm learning that the universe is playing big jokes on me and saying, we're going to see if you can improve your patience and not get stressed out whenever there's a little glitch. So there was a little glitch today. I waited a couple of minutes and then tried it again, and guess what? It worked. So many things in our life are just like that. We have a problem, something stops us, and we get upset about it. The more upset we get about it, the longer it takes us to get out of that situation. But if we take a deep breath, step back, try something else, or just let it go a minute or two, oftentimes it resolves itself, especially with computer and technology stuff. I don't know how long it's taken me to figure that out, but it's been a long time. And obviously, again, this morning, it was just another reminder. Sometimes you just got to go back and start over again, and stuff works out perfectly. It's like everything we do in our life, in our businesses. We don't usually figure it out and have it be perfect the first time we ever try something. But if we're willing to keep iterating and keep trying different things, we figure out and create whatever it is that we want in our lives. So today we're talking about the story. The S in our SOAP framework is story or situation. And we're actually, I challenge everybody to write down what's your current story, what's your desired story. And we're just using a a two-column technique. We're in the one column writing down all the bullet points about our current situation, and then in the other column we're writing down what is our desired situation. And why I like to do that and why I like to write it down is a lot of times when I write it down, I realize I am blowing it out of proportion. I am boiling the ocean like we talked about yesterday. I'm making it a much bigger thing in my mind than it actually is. Now, the problem I'm solving, or the challenge I'm solving, is I got a new software update, and it's not just an update, it's a whole new software program. So I need to take all of my businesses that are on that software program, and we actually have a year to do it, but I don't want to spend a year. I want to get it done before the end of this year. So how am I going to get from where I am to where I want to be? Well, I already decided as I was blanking out my story that I'm making it way harder than it has to be. I don't have to have them all done right away. I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to get one done and implemented. And from there, I can either choose to do the rest myself because I'll have the process all figured out, the simplest, easiest way for me, or I can just pass that off to someone else and have them do it for me, which is probably what I'll do because I'd rather travel and do some things and let people that are better visioned, literally, than me go ahead and take care of that. So that's it for today. If I can help you anyway, let me know. I am hanging out with my 1-year-old granddaughter because she's awesome. So I'm going to go wake her up. Have an awesome day. Voxer me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.